It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Sean Widmer Podcast coming up late. It's not the regular release time for the podcast, and I apologize for that. For those of you who look forward to seeing the podcast pop up on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this one's going up a little later. Really wanted to record on Thursday night, but I was gassed after a long day of work. Seahawks played super late. I had stuff going on. It was not going to be in the cards. It was not going to be in the cards last night by the time I had settled down at my house to record the podcast. So let's push it back a little bit and let's do it with a little more energy on a Friday night. Tonight, or today, or whenever you're listening to this episode, I need to talk about an issue I'm dealing with. I don't know what's going on. It's embarrassing, but it's part of my life now. I'm dealing with this on a weekly basis, and I'm not great about this. A TV show I love, some sports that I love. We might be an instant replay. This might be the first time in history this happens. I do not remember what stories I told on Wednesday from Disney World, or Disneyland, excuse me. And the one I want to tell today, I might have already told. I might have already told it. I think I did. I'll save it for the end, because that will be embarrassing. I want to kick it off, though, with some embarrassment that happened in the house a little over a week ago. And the stars aligned in a weird way. Weeks going on, I think it was Tuesday. I needed to, instead of going into work right off the bat to start the day, I needed to go the opposite direction of work to start my day for work, but not to the office. And so it kept me at the house a little bit longer and had me doing my morning meeting at home, and I was kind of doing home stuff. Plus, I didn't have to take my daughter to school that day. My sister-in-law took her to school that day. And so it's just like everything aligned for me to be home. And I'm at the house. I'm kind of getting ready to go. And it's much later than when I normally leave. I think it was like 9 o'clock when this was happening. And I'm in the kitchen and the doorbell rings. And I see my wife kind of panic. And I'm thinking it's going to be the babysitter for the day. And instead, it's a guy who is coming into my house to hang a light fixture that I know my wife got. But my wife remembers me trying to put a light fixture up earlier in the year and it leading to an absolute nightmare of a day for me, because that is not my forte. And so this leads to that situation that I run into a lot, not being a handyman. But we want stuff done around the house. And this light fixture that got put up is awesome. My wife has wanted a light fixture for this room forever, and we finally got one. And it's really a great light fixture. But that doesn't change the fact that this 65, 70-year-old man walks in, and he's got his tools, and he's got his ladder and his little things. And I don't know what to expect. And I walk around the corner, and he's talking to my wife, and I've got baby Woods in my arms. And the conversation between the two of them stops as, my wife's talking about the fixture. And he looks me dead in the eyes. And I look him dead in the eyes. And he looks, and he sees that I've got working legs and working hands. I'm holding the baby. And I'm tall enough to reach something on a small step ladder. And you could see the figured look across his face. And it's terribly embarrassing. But you can just see it. He looked at me like, really, dude? And my wife also felt it, and she's thinking in her head, it's 9 o'clock on a work day. You're supposed to be at work. You were just supposed to go to work, come back, the light fixture's up. You're probably not going to notice because you're that kind of guy with the decor in the house. And you might, if we wait long enough, you might even think, this is my wife thinking, you might even think you hung it and be like, yeah, I friggin' crushed that. Are you kidding me? Remember when I hung that light fixture? What a man. But here's my thinking, right? So this guy comes in, he hangs this light fixture in, record time. He hangs it before I even leave to head off to work. So, he's just in and out of the house. And to be fair, this man grew up pre-internet, okay? If you grew up pre-internet, you better be able to fix a car, fix a lawnmower, build a house, do electrical, hang drywall, fix a toilet. You know, you better be able to do all these things. And I'm not saying I can't do all those things. There's some of those things I said I can actually do, guys. Like maybe one. Maybe. Right, but you better, like if you're pre-internet, well, you had nothing else to do. What are you doing with your time? You didn't have video games. You didn't have the internet. You're not streaming. You don't have access to stream every single sporting event that's going on. You're bored pre-internet. And is this a problem with where we are in society? Maybe, I don't know. But I know this. It's why I didn't hang a light that day. So get off me, old man. It's so mean. Thank you for hanging our light fixture in our living room, on our dining room. It looks awesome. You did a great job. But the look he gave me kind of earns it. Man, I can't help it when I was born. I can't help it that I woke up in the internet, or I was born in the internet age. I can't help it that I'm such a killer at Madden. I can't help that. Okay, not the new one. I'm not good at the new one. But I can't help it that I'm good at that. You know? And so you want to step into my world, and you and your boys, you know, we've got the electrician, the butcher, and the candlestick maker. Their trio drops on into, you know, the hive against my trio. Man, I'm landing. I'm gonna go gray guns, and I'm gonna wreck you. You could land and get all legendary. And my boys are going into the hive against you, and it's game over with gray pistols. So, you know, then who is so cool? Still him. Really is still him. But it was embarrassing. It happens a lot to me. I felt so bad. I'm just looking at him. And that moment probably lasted half a second. And he probably moved on from it. And here I am a week and a half later, still dripping sweat in my armpits, because what a disappointment to have this man come in, look me in the eyes, go, you can't do your own house. And then he hangs a light fixture, and I'm just standing there. And as he walks out of the house, he looks over on, because it's Tuesday, and Tuesday nights are game nights. He looks over onto the little stand by the door, and he sees my little Dungeons and Dragons box ready to go to the rusty scabbard that night. He sees my player's handbook and my dice and my mini, and he goes, yeah, dude, I need to call my son right now as I get in my car and tell him I'm thankful for the man that he grew up to be. So that's where we're at today. Kudos to those of you who are great with your hands. I'm jealous. I may talk out the side of my mouth on this one, but I am. Am I going to practice getting good at it? No, I'm 43, man. I was speaking of being 43. I am dealing with something. This is just an episode of all of my issues. We're just laying out my issues. I think I still have part of me. There's part of me inside that is like a ball of fun energy. I think that still exists in there. Where, I don't know, but I think it still exists in there. And but this is the other thing that's going on with me. I am having the hardest time not spilling on my shirt. What is that? That's just a lazy thing, right? That's not an age thing. I've noticed so much lately that when I'm eating something with a dip or something that's a little drippy, it's on I will for sure get it on my shirt every time. Every single stinking time. Spaghetti on my shirt. Chips and salsa on my shirt. A taco, like with a little bit of sauce in it, on my shirt. It's on my shirt. Pizza sauce on my shirt. It's on my shirt. I'm not talking huge globs, right? But a dot here and a dot there. And here is a problem I've had since forever. If I get a dot on my clothes, I will go out of my way to wreck that dot and take a little, you know, the end of an eraser dot size of salsa on my shirt. I will run to the bathroom and dump half of a swimming pool of water onto my shirt and scrub it with my hands. Just scrub it in there and be like, I'm better than the washing machine. I'm better. I'm going to clean this dot out. And then I walk out of the bathroom and it looks like I just swam. Because my shirt from what was a little dot is now just a explosion of moisture all across from sea to shining sea on my shirt. And it's really bad. So every time, so that's why this is a problem, because I used to spill occasionally. So, if I was out with the fellas or out on a date with my wife or whatever it might have been throughout my growing up years, you know, it it was a rare time that I would have to go to the bathroom and wet my pants and have a huge, gigantic lake-sized puddle on my pants when I came out of the bathroom because I tried to clean this dot off, or the same with my shirt. It was a rarity. But now it's happening a lot. And so I'm walking around a lot trying to get these stains off my shirt. And it's bad. And I'm to the point where I just need to be packing more clothes, and that's embarrassing to say. So I have a theory with it. I think with 3 kids and work and life and hobbies and things, my brain is going through a million different planes every 5 seconds, right? I'm thinking, I'm focused on my food, and in the 5 seconds that it takes me to dip my chip, get it to my mouth, and take a bite, in that 5 seconds, I've thought of something for Huck, something for Olivia, something for my wife, something for Woods, something for a friend, something for my family, something for me. And then I've forgotten that I even have a chip in my hand, and it's on my shirt. Okay. We're at 15 minutes almost. We're going to get there pretty quick. I want to save, maybe we do some comments. I want to save this potential Disneyland story for the very end, because I seriously might be on instant reruns, a story that I think I told on Wednesday that I'm about to tell again. So I would beg of you to just turn the podcast off if that ends up happening. Before we get into the comments though, Survivor is going to be awesome this year. Survivor Season 49 is set up to be really good. I do not have the roster in front of me, but I judged a book by its cover, and I looked at the lineup before the show started, and for some reason I felt like, hey, you know what I am? I'm this guy who can just look at this picture and tell you everything about everyone. This is not going to be a good season. How dumb, Sean Widmer. The producers know what they're doing. They got great people on the show. And the reason I bring this up right now is because it's only one episode in. So this is a great jumping on time for Survivor. Survivor Season 49, there's no returning players. They're all new players for this one. Next year's returning players. But it's all new. First episode was good to highly good. There's a little bit of everything in it. And there's a little bit of everything contestant-wise in this one. I really, really like the first episode. And so I'm really excited to see how this plays out. I thought they did a good job showing just enough of every person to kind of get you a feel for what you're looking at this season. Obviously, there are some players, and this happens at the beginning of every season. There are a few players who are going to burn out early that they focus on because these players get way wild to start. They get paranoid. They get nervous about everything. They jump from alliance to alliance, and this happens early. So it's really entertaining. They get a ton of the limelight, and the spotlight's on them, then they're gone. And so there's 2 players that do not get a lot at the beginning. The players who win it all and are there at the end because they've got powerful alliance playing a high-level game, and they kind of they're involved at the beginning, but they're not as loud as these crazies who need to be focused on early on. And then the other people who do not get camera time are the ones who are duds and are the ones you see all season because people try to take them to the end, knowing that they're, at the very end when there's 3 people sitting in front of the jury, you want someone to be sitting next to who has done nothing and will get no votes and no sympathy, and that person just kind of exists on the show. Anyways, 1 episode in, I'd recommend it. I think it's going to be a great season of Survivor. Boy, am I hyped. Seahawks are good. Oh, hang on. Hang on. We've got to push a button right here.
Kelly's, what are you into?
The Seahawks are good. They're 3-1. They're not the best team in the NFC or in the NFL. No, they're not the best team in the NFL. They're not the best team in the NFC. And they might not even be like a top 3 NFC team or even a top 4 NFC team. But they might be 5, 6, or 7 best in the NFC. Okay, the Eagles are still really good. Tampa Bay seemingly is really good. The Niners are 3-0 and beat the Seahawks, so I think you have to have them above the Seahawks. I think the Packers could be good. The Lions are really good. So, and the Minnesota Vikings are good. So there was a lot of good teams in the NFC. Okay, if Jaden Daniels plays, which he's not this weekend, then the Commanders are good. So there's a lot of good teams in the NFC, but the Seahawks are 3-1, and Sam Darnold is good. He's a good quarterback. He's the best quarterback the Seahawks have had in a minute, I think. And this is coming from someone who loved Russ, and I liked Geno. So, yeah, they're good. The Seahawks are good. And last night, the offense looked good, and there was no turnovers by Sam Darnold. Kenneth Walker didn't fumble last night. I think Sam Darnold had 8 incompletions because I think he was. I can't get the stats to load. Let's see. Can I get the game stats to load? I think he had 8 incompletions, and I believe he had 8 different receivers catch a ball. That's crazy. That's such a good distribution of offense with efficiency. 18 to 26. That's funny. I said he only had 8 incompletions. Well, what if he threw the ball 8 times? That wouldn't be as exciting. So. I'm excited about this. I think the Seahawks look all right, and it gives me joy. It gave me joy to watch them win, even though the defense is really good, let up some points late, and made this thing way closer than it should have been. Obviously, the Seahawks had to win it. If you don't know, Seahawks had to win it on a last-second field goal. Okay, that's what they had to do. I really want to read comments, but my entire internet browser. Oh, there we go. It was down. We'll read these before we get into potential immediate reruns. Roberta said this over on YouTube. One never knows. Oh, I already read that. Sorry, Roberta. Love you anyways. Okay. We go to, did anyone say anything on the website? Did anyone say anything over there? I think so. Here we go. Kelly said this. Disney. So old. I think it's Kelly's birthday today. Kelly M. I think it's his birthday. Happy birthday. I don't know what Disney so old means, but Disney's so old, baby. Miguel says this. I've got to say, my son, Max, who's 7, is slowly becoming a fan of your pod, Miguel. We're going to talk about Miguel in a second. I was listening to the work story in Spokane where your boss put the Chuck E. Cheese application on your desk when he said something along the lines of, excuse me, my boss said something along the lines of, if you want to be a child, go work at Chuck E. Cheese. Right to my face. He said it right to my face, Miguel's son, Max. Max lost it, LOL. Now we get in the car and he wants to listen to that one again. He also enjoyed Poopy Butt Cheeks. Of course he did. Poopy Butt Cheeks are awesome and hilarious. Don't say that, Max. That is not good language to use around the house or anywhere. It's not. It was just accurate. And so there's this thing when you get older where you can say things because you know more stuff, right? As a kid at 7, Max, you want to say Poopy Butt Cheeks, right? You want to say it because it's fun and it's hilarious and it's probably real. But you have not lived enough life. As you get older, there becomes a time in your life, and you'll know it when it happens, Max. You'll know, Miguel, you might too. Max, you'll know it when it hits. And you'll all of a sudden realize, I have learned enough about Poopy Butt Cheeks to be able to say that word. And that's when you can start, calling your dad that. But not 7, you're not old enough yet, Max. You're not. Miguel, I appreciate your comment. That is a human being that he lived in Spokane. We lived in Cheney when I was in Spokane a long time ago. And it was in a time in life where I was really busy doing stuff. Miguel was always someone when I ran into him, and I would see him at concerts and stuff. I always wanted to hang out with him and his friends, and I was like, no, I'm not going to ask, man. I'm too chicken. He always was with like cooler people. Like they were always like, he's cool. And like the people he were with, they're cool. Like it's just like the cool. I was like, if I could hang out with Miguel, that'd be awesome. So Miguel, thanks for listening to the podcast. Just know that I get nervous with that because the amount of times I saw him out and about and I was like, God, I really like, what if Miguel is like, dude, come hang with us tonight. All right, nerd stuff. That's lame. Okay, here we go. Let's go to Spotify. Do we have anything over there before I go into instant reruns? I think I already did tell the story. Here we go. Yvonne says this. Olivia is showing her dad's side with her books and imagination. Yeah, Poopy Butt Cheeks, man. I'm telling you, she is. It's not good. I need to talk to my daughter about what she's writing about. It's not appropriate. And Spokane Ian says this. Oh, man, I've got some stories for you, including one where I got locked out of the bathroom at school, so I found a secluded spot to go to the bathroom, but got caught by a teacher conveniently a third grade story, just like mine. Okay, so you got locked out of the bathroom, found a place to go potty, and got caught by a teacher. That's not going to end well in third grade. It's not. But you got to go, and you got to go. What is the alternative? All the cool kids pee their pants, and they do. I think I already told the story. It's not even worth telling. Did I tell about my iPad? It's not even. I don't even want to tell it anymore. My phone. I'm sure I told this. My phone was broken. I had to take my iPad. Okay, I already told that story. Walking around with my iPad, and I did. And Lightning McQueen backpack. All right. I have nothing else from Disneyland right now. Then I don't think so. I didn't know if my son loved the trip or not. Like I didn't know if he was blown away at 3.5 years old by Disneyland and Radiator Springs. I really hoped he did when he was there. And then I hoped that he had a great time when we were coming back, but he just didn't say a lot about it. But that's changed. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and all day today. Hey, Dad, so what do you think? Go back to Radiator Springs tomorrow? What do you think? Can we go back for real? Can we go back tonight for real to Radiator Springs? I said, son, your father is going to have to win some kind of like illegal gambling ring sports bet of a high magnitude for us to get back to Radiator Springs anytime soon. But I love you, son, and I really hope you can remember this forever, because who knows when we go back again. All right, thank you for listening. Much appreciated. Oh, I was going to say, I got one of my very best friends stopped listening to the podcast because I mentioned that I have a Patreon. He stopped listening all the way, and I love him to death. He's I talk to him almost every single day, and he stopped listening. He said, I'm done. I said, dude, the podcast isn't like Patreon. He's like, you're behind a paywall now. I said, no, man. There is stuff on the Patreon that you can access, but the Patreon is there. If people like the podcast and you want to support it, you can go there, and it's the only way I can keep paying to do the podcast. Otherwise, my wife is like, you're done paying for that, and it would make me sad. But so thank you to the people who do that. But I'm doing a little thing on my Patreon where I'm trying to post this is just a challenge for me. I'm trying to post a small 5-minute video every single day. And I hope they're enjoyable, but also it's a fun, creative exercise for me to try to think of something every single day. It keeps the creative side of my brain going. I got into a grind at work where I'm just doing a lot of, it's brain stuff. It's just puzzles, right? So it's like putting puzzles together on a spreadsheet and stuff. There's no real creativity to it. It's just doing it. And I was like, I'd been doing it a ton, and it's tiring. I get mentally tired doing it. And I get home, I'm like, ugh, I want to make sure I'm still working that creative muscle. So this is my thing over on Patreon. Is it patreon.com/Bomarewski? What do I have it as? Now I've talked too long about it. Let's see. Nope, it's not that. Don't go to patreon.com/Bomarewski. It's patreon.com/Sean Widmer podcast. There you go. All right. Thank you to those who go over there. But yeah, if you want to see these videos, they're every single day. You can go over, support the podcast, and check them out. All right. Thanks for listening, baby.